Okay, so for the Form 4 Final Exam 2025 Selangor paper, it looks like question 10 essay is the easier essay to answer because in the section B, question 9, question 10, you have to choose one. It looks like everybody think that question 10 is much easier lah. So we try to um go through question 10 first, the sample question that possible similar to the question 10. Okay, so for the essay, you need to remember uh teachers mark very strict in essay. So if possible, you print out the material and then maybe print 2 set to 3 set. But if you don't want to print so many set also can. You print 1 set first. After that, when you write answer, you write in test pad. So look at the question, then write in test pad. Let's say you don't have printer, also can open up the PDF file. After that, refer to the question and then write the answer. Once a day, then second round, try to practice the question again without looking at the answer and try to memorize the answer because as I say, essay for chemistry, teacher mark very strict. So every sentence that missing one words, they give you 0. Okay, so for question 10, right? It is confirmed that you're going to have the 2 experiment, which is the magnesium oxide experiment and copper 2 oxide experiment. So for the magnesium one, you have to know definition because definition coming up. So what is empirical formula? You need to write, it's a chemical formula that show the simplest whole number ratio of atom of each element in the compound. Okay, please remember for the definition, you need to write every single words inside. Missing one words will be 0. So please memorize this. Either is empirical formula coming up or the molecular formula. So molecular formula is a chemical show the actual number of atom of each element in a compound. So the difference will be one will show you the actual number, one will show the ratio. Ratio means, example, let's say we have glucose C6H12O6. This is molecular formula, show you the actual number. Then for empirical formula, they'll give you ratio. So 6 can simplify to 1 to 1. So this is the empirical formula, which show the ratio. Then this is the molecular formula, show you the actual number of how many carbon, how many hydrogen, how many oxygen in glucose. Then for this experiment, roughly explain to you because it's a 10 marks essay that asks you about these 2 experiments, got some calculation involved, and they have theory and definition. So definition will 1 mark, calculation around 3 to 4 marks. Then we'll have some theory here. So the theory is that this we started with magnesium ribbon. Okay. After that, the magnesium ribbon will burn with oxygen to form your magnesium oxide. Okay, balance equation. 2 oxygen here, 1 oxygen here. We put a 2 here, then 2 Mg. So when you burn, right, the magnesium oxide is a white color powder. So it might fly out as white film. So you need to cover it to avoid the white film to escape. Because once it escape, right, the purpose is like this. You see, this is only magnesium. Let's say we want to calculate this is how many gram. Example, when only magnesium, let's say I want to calculate, let's say example, just a simple example. Let's say this is 5 gram, right? With 2 gram oxygen becomes 7 gram. So we need to measure the final mass. So if any white film fly out, the mass may be decreased to 5 gram, then you'll affect the results. So you need to make sure there's no magnesium fly out. It'll close with the crucible. Then how do you make sure the reaction has complete? So you have to remember this one. You need to repeat the 3 process: heating, cooling, weighing process. Because imagine, let's say this is 5 gram, right, with 2 gram, then suppose it becomes 7 gram. So the mass when you heat, right, maybe becomes 6 gram, 6.5 gram. So it will continue in the mass will increase because you're adding oxygen to the magnesium. So when come to a stage when all magnesium rare oxygen, it should reach 7 gram and they will stop at 7 gram because all the magnesium has converted to magnesium oxide. The mass won't further increase. So how do you make sure the reaction is complete? You repeat, heat already, cool down, measure the mass. Until it stops at a number, means the reaction has complete. So until a constant mass is obtained, means the mass will stop at a number, means the reaction complete already. Then what is a preconditional step? So if you just close it, right, you won't have enough oxygen to rare magnesium. So you must open a little bit and then quickly cover back to avoid the white film fly out. So you have to open a bit, like example, this is the crucible. You have to open a little bit like this to let some oxygen to go out in, then close back, open a bit, close back like this. Don't open like this, then all the white film will fly out. Okay, so after that, they'll have calculation here. I'm not sure the calculation is the copper 2 oxide or the magnesium oxide. So in copper 2 oxide, right, this thing called crucible. So we know it's find magnesium oxide. So crucible plus a lid, the empty one is 28.5. Then this one crucible plus it plus magnesium. So you can see very obvious that this means if I take 31.5 minus 28.5, I will get how much magnesium I have, which is 3 grams. Then after that, magnesium after heating is actually mentioned is because magnesium after rare oxygen become magnesium oxide. So you just take this to minus off, you will able to get your, because one is Mg, one is MgO. So you minus 33.5 minus 31.5, then you're able to get the mass of oxygen. After that, divide by the molar mass. They might, at exam time, they might give you X, Y, Z, means they don't tell you it's magnesium. They might give you metal X, then it's the same concept. Then you divide by 24, then oxygen divided by 16, you will get the same. Then, but you have to construct equally. The mole ratio, you divide by 0.125. Then the ratio, once you get this, you have to write the simplest whole number ratio, write one more column. Because some teacher are very particular, you need to write all 4 columns. Please make sure you write this one, because as I say, exam teacher mark very strict in essay. Essay is the key to divide students from A or B or C or D. So essay teacher mark very strict. So now you have this video. This video is to help you to get 40 over 40 in your coming exam paper for essay. So if you can get full marks essay, so you confirm you really have A in your exam. But you make sure you print out or you write the answer. First time you copy the answer, second time you without looking at the answer, you try to write out your answer, then use a red pen to mark your paper. After that, third time, try to write the answer perfectly. No missing words, then you can get 40 over 40 for the exam. Why this method is not suitable for copper 2 oxide? Okay, so you need to know this thing. For the reactivity series, right? Kalau nak kawin, mesti ada zinc flexible supaya perempuan hasil cukup anak. Okay, so the idea is this. Because magnesium, they're very reactive. So when you take magnesium, because the essay might ask this question, you burn with oxygen, because magnesium is very reactive metal, they can react very fast. So now they ask you, why copper can I use this method? Because copper is less reactive metal. It can react to form your copper 2 oxide, but the process is very slow. It might take you, don't forget, you have to repeat the experiment few times until the mass is constant. So it might take hours to settle. So best for copper 2 oxide, you have to use another experiment. Later I explain to you. So you look at the calculation here, same thing. You can see this is the crucible. Just practice one more time for the calculation. Magnesium oxide. So you just take this minus this, because you can get your magnesium. Then the third one minus the second one, you can get your oxide. Okay, then we divide by the molar mass, 124, 116. You get the ratio is 1 to 1. After the empirical formula given will be the Mg1O1. Same question, they ask for equation, so you write the Mg plus O2. So okay, here is the possible question coming out. They ask for qualitative and quantitative. Okay, so for qualitative now, you have from this equation, what can I know? That I'm able to know the reactant is magnesium and oxygen. The product is my magnesium oxide. So you can write that. So reactant is magnesium and oxygen. Then the other one is magnesium oxide. Okay, I didn't write magnesium and oxygen gas because in this equation, there's no bracket. Means I don't write like this. If I write this, then I know this is magnesium solid. plus oxygen gas, then become magnesium oxide solid like this. But in this equation, we don't write solid liquid gas, so no need to write about the gas and the solid thing. After that, quantitative is the number. The number we have here is 212. So you mention here, 2 more magnesium, we write with 1 more oxygen to form 2 more magnesium oxide. This is the quantitative. Quantitative means quantity, the number. Then quality means the chemical. Then they want you to determine the number of mole of white powder. If 0.05 mole is red, so you can mention here 1 mole O2 form 2 mole MgO. Then now I got 0.5, so 1 to 2 times 2, this one times 2, I will get 1. Then need to cover Y, so you can write down to avoid the Y film fly out. This suitable, not suitable because magnesium copper is very slow. How to make sure the reaction is complete, heating, cooling, weighing process is repeat until a constant mass is obtained. So remember, this is the first essay, the first experiment. I got asked some questions, so you might need to print out because I get the news that we have the copper to oxide coming out also. So you have to do some copper to oxide. Same the definition of empirical formula. So you can write chemical formula show the simplest whole number ratio of each element in the compound. Okay, so for this experiment, right, the idea is this. Because copper, if you heat copper plus oxygen, it becomes copper to oxide. If you take copper, right, oxygen, the process is very slow. So seems is it like this, we go for second method. The lab assistant will heat the copper with oxygen to turn into copper to oxide for you. Then now you use hydrogen gas because hydrogen is more reactive than copper, man. You're able to take away the oxygen from copper. Means this oxygen, he will take away, he will steal away because the hydrogen more reactive, man. In order to get my hydrogen, this part we have to use a metal plus an acid to get your gas, hydrogen gas out. So zinc metal plus the hydrochloric acid. So Zn will with Cl becomes ZnCl2. Hydrogen will come out as hydrogen gas. So they ask you what is the chemical needed. You can write zinc metal plus hydrochloric acid. So again, zinc metal plus hydrochloric acid. You'll get your zinc chloride plus your hydrogen gas. It will supply your hydrogen gas. You don't know these two experiments now because coming out. The essay is chapter 3. So now I discuss all the possible questions. Then you're able to get the answer. Then what changed? Okay, so for copper, right? Once you react, right? Example, this is the Cu plus H2. It becomes Cu plus H2O. So you need to know that copper to oxide is black color solid. Copper is brown color solid. So what is the observation that you can see brown solid, black solid turn brown if they ask for observation. So the glass tube alone, then same with just now, if you, it started with copper oxide, then after that it turned into copper. Okay, so the starting is this. To get, starting with copper to oxide, at the end of the experiment become copper, so the mass will decrease. After that, to get the copper, same on this one, minus this one, you get a copper mass. After that, to get the oxide, you take the copper oxide minus copper. After that, divide by the molar mass. One is 64, one is 16. You get the ratio equals 1 to 1. Then the answer will be CuO. A balanced equation. So CuO plus H2, the O will taken away by the oxygen, becomes Cu plus H2O. Okay, the hydrogen gas, you have to flow through for a while to make sure there's no air in the glass tube, because if the glass tube inside only got hydrogen gas, it won't explode. But if you have a mixture of H2 and oxygen in the glass tube, you heat, it will explode. So very dangerous. Then they ask, can magnesium oxide react with using this method? The answer is no. Why? You see, kalau nak kahwin, mesti ada zinc flexible supaya perempuan hasil cukup anak. So you can see for the hydrogen gas, the location is somewhere here. And my magnesium is here. So if you take magnesium, you burn with magnesium oxide, You burn with hydrogen gas, you won't have any reaction. The reason is why? Because the magnesium is more reactive. This is less reactive. So hydrogen unable to steal the oxygen away from the magnesium. That's why we can write down here, it's more reactive than hydrogen. Then this is some special question now. They ask you in this experiment, right? Why are you using the spirit lamp to heat them? Why don't you use Bunsen burner? So this is some theory that we need to know that because if you use the Bunsen burner, right, if you use the natural gas to burn, you'll produce soot. If you use the spirit lamp, you will burn the ethanol with no soot, so it won't blacken the glass tube because the glass tube when blackened, you can't see the color change inside. So you need to use the spirit lamp. Then precautionary step to get the actual result will be heating, cooling, weighing process. Okay, so roughly you understand what is the difference between these two experiments. The essay might ask you the differences between these two. Now, so let's say they give you like this. One is metal X, one is metal Y. Then you need to know lah, this is your magnesium lah, plus O2 become your magnesium oxide, balance equation. This is your copper 2 oxide plus hydrogen gas, and then become copper plus H2O. So you can write up, X I suggest is magnesium because magnesium is very reactive towards oxygen. It can react with oxygen very fast. Then the Y I suggest a copper because copper less reactive than hydrogen. It is less reactive than hydrogen, so hydrogen can steal the oxygen away from the copper. Okay, this is the first question, potential question. Second question, they give you the chemical. One is magnesium, one is the copper. They ask for similarity and differences. So you have to check the similarity and differences now. Because the essay is 10 marks, so not sure how detailed they're going to ask. So all the potential questions we discussed. Hope that it helps you to get full marks. So the similarity, okay, for similarities, right? We will say both got heating. Now you can see heating, both involve heating. So both are actually a solid rare gas, solid rare gas. So the differences is what? The differences is one side is metal oxide is formed, one side is metal is formed. Okay, these are the first differences. Second one is react with oxygen gas, one react with hydrogen gas. Then the third one is mass increase. You can see Mg and MgO, of course, the mass increases. The CO change to CO, the mass decreases. Another potential one, same with this one, they give you X and Y. You don't know what is that. Then they ask you to compare. So as I say, the experiment one is the Mg, right, with O2, it become MgO. Then the second one is CuO plus H2, it become Cu plus H2O. So suggest a metal, magnesium, try to stick back to magnesium, don't use other answer. And then copper 2 oxide, stick back to copper 2 oxide, try not to use other answer. Then they ask the differences, same we just now what interact. Both involve heating, one rare oxygen, one rare hydrogen. So why we choose this one? Because X is reactive towards oxygen, Y is less reactive than hydrogen, so the oxygen can take away. This one heat metal X and oxygen gas. This one heat the hydrogen with the metal oxide. So you can write any differences. So this is the first part A. For part B, it related to the balloon, which is very similar to the past year. So what is the past year involved? Okay, I'll show you the actual past year because this question actually cloned from the SPM past year. So let you see the actual question first, then you see how they change the question. So they have these two balloons. Okay, the actual SPM past year that came out, I think it's 2022. They cut these two balloons, then realized that hydrogen flow higher, helium flow lower. Then explain why there's different in observation for A and B after take up. So the answer recommended in SPM is like this. First, the differences. So you explain the differences is position A is higher than position B. So this will give you 1 mark. Then reason is that to explain at the same volume is 0.6 dmq, right? Mass of balloon A is lighter than mass of balloon B. Okay, so means the mass of hydrogen gas is lower. Now you have to prove it using calculation. I got 0.6 dm cube because the balloon is 0.6 dm cube. Then divide by 24, you get 0.025. Then after that, helium also same. Okay, so now I calculate the mass. If the mole number of mole is 0.025, helium, the mass is 4. So 0.25 times 4, I will get that 0.1 gram. After that, for the hydrogen gas, but you must remember hydrogen is H2, not H. Because hydrogen gas, they need to be covalent bond so that it's stable. So they need to share electron because one valence electron is not stable. They have to share valence electron. So hydrogen, they have to share one pair of electron here. Helium don't need, he himself already have two electrons. So it is stable duplet electron arrangement. So this one you have to times the H2. So 2 times 1 equals to 0.05. We can see this one is heavier. This one is lighter. This one will able, this is the 0. How many gram? This one 0.5 gram, 0.05 gram, this one 0.1 gram. So this one will float faster because flow higher because it's lighter. So this explanation. So now I clone a question that similar to your exam. Don't know what is the volume, say assume 12. It might be 6, it might be 12, it might be 24. It depends on the question. So they'll ask you what is the type of particle found. Type of particle means, write down for me, type of particle means atom, molecule, or ion. So helium is He, hydrogen is H2. H2 means it looks like this. So you can write down for the helium is atom. Then for hydrogen gas is a molecule. Calculate number of mole. So first up, you have to calculate the number of mole chemical first. We have the 12 dm cube divided by molar volume, which is 24. We get 0.5. Okay, look at the actual number. The actual number might be 6 dm cube, might be 3 dm cube. Then after that, 12 divided by 24. Okay, then after that, compare the size of the balloon at room temperature. The size should be the same. You know why? Not because they have same number of mole of gas, which is 0.5. So their volume should be 12. Should be same. Okay, because molar, no matter what gas you are, same number of mole means same volume. Same volume means same size of the balloon because balloon size depends on how much gas inside. Then now they ask you how do you, if the thing's cut already, which one will float higher? So this is the main question at 4 marks there. So first you calculate the mass first. So helium is 4 times half mole, you get 2 gram. Then this is 0.5 times 2, you get 1 gram. So it seems A will float higher than B because at the same volume of 12 dm cube, he is lighter, which is one is 2 gram, one is 1 gram. So 1 gram lighter, it will float faster than the one. Okay, so this is the first essay. So after you complete all this, please make sure you do it again. Means all the answer right again to get the first 20 marks. Okay, so once done. Okay, I'm going to discuss question 11 first. Okay, because you have question 9, question 10, question 11. So this you have to choose one. Okay, choose one. So I recommend you to choose this one. It's quite simple. Then after that, I'll go for question 11 now to make sure you get 40 marks. Then end of the video, I'll do question 9. Just back up, just in case you don't know how to handle question 10, then you do question 9. So for question 10, okay, so based on the notes I've given you, you just cancel this one because we already confirm it's not coming out the prepare insoluble salt. But I roughly explained to you how do you prepare insoluble salt because the first part of the lesson, the first part A question, you ask for insoluble salt. So how to prepare insoluble salt? The concept is very simple. Barium sulfate is insoluble salt. So to prepare insoluble salt, we will pair with spent. Who is your spent? S stands for sodium, P stands for potassium, A stands for ammonium. Then N stands for nitrate. So what we do is we're going to pair barium with nitrate. then plus the sodium sulfate. This part you can pair any one of them up. You can pair the sodium with sulfate, or potassium with sulfate. Ammonium don't take that because ammonium a bit risky. Then we'll get the barium sulfate plus the sodium nitrate. So the idea is that these two are a soluble salt. So when you pour these two soluble salt together, you'll get your barium sulfate. Okay, the concepts of this I draw for you. The first beaker, we have the barium nitrate. The second beaker, we have the sodium sulfate. So when you pour them together, the chemical, they'll mix together. So you need two soluble things. You need two soluble salt. Any soluble salt. I recommend you SPAN. You can use other one as long as soluble. Then the BA will meet with the SO4. They will hug together, become insoluble salt. Sorry, pour two together. Then you get insoluble salt. After that, you just filter out, you'll get a pure barium sulfate. So you can see from here, 50 cnq, 1 mole per kg of barium sulfate solution is measured in measuring cylinder and poured into the beaker. 50 cnq of sodium sulfate solution is poured into the beaker. Two mixed together and stir with gas straw. Then you get your barium sulfate. Filter out. Once you filter out, your barium sulfate will be here. Then rinse with distilled water and dry. So this is the concept of producing the insoluble salt. I give you another example. I took a cross means not coming out this question, but you need to know the concept because double decomposition is coming out in the exam. So if I want to prepare PB chloride, right, you need to see more example to understand. So I pair with SPAN. So the first chemical needed will be the PB nitrate. Plus the second chemical will be the sodium chloride. And become PbCl2 NaNO3. So same now, two beaker mixed together, you'll get your insoluble salt. Yeah, so this is the idea. Okay, so the question, it won't be described, but they'll give something like this. Okay, now first situation, they'll give you two chemical. So from here, we know this is sodium carbonate. Then this is magnesium nitrate. They'll ask you who is the insoluble salt. So for the insoluble salt, okay, so the idea is this. Okay, how to memorize? For this, you need to know how to differentiate soluble and insoluble salt. So any salt that contain SPAN will be soluble. Means any salt started with sodium will be soluble. Any salt started with potassium will be soluble. Any salt we started with ammonium will be soluble. And with nitrate will be soluble. When you see any salt with these four ions, one of them is this one, sodium chloride, sodium nitrate, sodium carbonate, whatever sodium will be soluble. Whatever potassium will be soluble. Then chemical that with COOH will be insoluble. Example, the carbonate will be insoluble. Oxide will be insoluble, hydroxide will be insoluble. But of course, when sodium with carbonate is still soluble. So this is all soluble, this is all insoluble, except they meet with this SPA, except they meet with SPA like sodium carbonate soluble, potassium oxide soluble. Then for chloride and sulfate, right, most of them are soluble. Only 6 of them not soluble. So how to remember? Remember curry soup, which is Kari, who is not soluble, Persatuan Agama Hindu, not soluble. So PbCl, AgCl, HgCl not soluble. Then this one is Persatuan, soup is Persatuan Bahasa Cina. So PbSO4 not soluble, BSO4 not soluble, CaSO4 not soluble. So the precipitate here, we have to guess what is the chemical which is not soluble. We check here. Sodium carbonate plus the magnesium nitrate, they will exchange partner. So it becomes magnesium carbonate plus sodium nitrate. So it's the Mg with CO3, then Na with NO3 lah. So you check here, anything with sodium nitrate will be soluble. So you can see anything with sodium nitrate will be soluble. Anything with carbonate will be insoluble unless they pair with sodium. So sodium carbonate soluble, but magnesium carbonate not soluble. So the precipitate will be the magnesium carbonate. Then name the reaction. So we need to know that to prepare insoluble salt, the reaction is double decomposition reaction. So if at the end it come out precipitate, you see the words precipitate or insoluble salt, you call double decomposition reaction. Then they will ask you to do some calculation here, so you try to do the calculation. We have this, need to do the calculation. This is the MV over 1000 because we have the molarity, which is equals to 1 mole, volume equals to 25. Your essay will have calculation, so you need to know how to do calculation. So I use MV over 1000, which is the M is 1 mole per DMQ, 25 CIQ against 0.25. Then you look at the ratio. Sodium carbonate ratio to magnesium carbonate is 1 to 1. So 1 mole produce 1 mole, 0.025 will produce 0.025. After that, you find the mass of 0.025, then molar mass of magnesium carbonate. Magnesium is 24 times carbon is 12 times oxygen 3 times 16. You get the mass is equals to 2.1 gram. So what happens if we hit them strongly? So if we hit the magnesium carbonate strongly, whenever you hit, it always come out metal oxide. For structure in assay, not objective. Then CO3 will come out CO2. It's quite surprised the question 11 in chapter 6 because chapter 6 is very tough. Normally don't come out in the last essay. So the good news is roughly you know what is the question coming out there, so we start to discuss that. Then this is another question, barium sulfate. Barium sulfate, do you still remember it's not soluble? So remember SO4 is soap. Soap is persatuan, bahasa, China, not soluble. So BaSO4 is insoluble. So what is mean by insoluble salt? Salt the insoluble. So the reaction called double decomposition reaction. Then they ask you barium nitrate added to solution Z to produce barium nitrate. They ask for the solution. So I teach you just already. Barium sulfate is insoluble salt. Best you pair with the soluble SPN. So here is your barium nitrate. Need to add solution Z. So solution Z, you can choose either sodium sulfate. Then it become barium sulfate plus the sodium nitrate. So I'll choose solution Z to be sodium sulfate. Give another barium salts, barium nitrate, barium chloride. Okay, same with this one. They want to prepare magnesium carbonate. Then they ask, magnesium chloride need to add what solution? So we right here. So magnesium carbonate is the one that I want to prepare. Okay, insoluble pair with the SPAN. So the first chemical needed will be the magnesium nitrate plus the sodium carbonate. So it will become magnesium carbonate plus sodium nitrate. But this question, they a bit tricky. They changed the magnesium nitrate to chloride. So actually it does not affect the reaction and still can get the things. But the other side must be sodium carbonate. After that, you get the sodium carbonate, they ask how do you take out the dry sample. So you see, after you mix these two, you'll get the precipitate here. So the one is your magnesium carbonate. So what you need to do, you just filter and then rinse it and dry it. Okay, so this is the idea. So pour this solution into the other solution, stir, filter out, rinse it, and then dry the chemical. Then you get the things stick. Okay, so this is the first part of the question. They might have 4 marks, that is 4 to 5 marks, ask you about preparing the insoluble salt. But they don't come up procedure, they ask you what is chemical needed and the reaction called double decomposition reaction. Okay, second part of the question 11 essay will be copper to carbonate, something related to copper to carbonate. So, because we will confirm the chemical that in the question 11 is copper solution. So, first thing I'm going to explain to you the heating part. If you heat a copper to nitrate and then you heat a copper to carbonate, right? Both of them will create will produce heat strongly. Both of them will produce copper to oxide, which is black color. Okay, so you know the color. So this is a green color. So the CuCO3 is a green color solid. Then CuNO3 is a blue color solid. Then both of them will give you black solid here. After that, they'll produce for CO3, you produce carbon dioxide gas. For the NO3 will produce NO2 gas, nitrogen dioxide gas, which is brown color gas, and then plus oxygen gas. Colorless gas are both are colorless gas, carbon dioxide and oxygen gas. So you can see from here, you heat already, right? It produces black solid. So we'll know this is copper to oxide. And then the brown gas is NO2, the colorless gas is O2. So means original chemical will be copper to nitrate. Okay. After that, add water. Add water just still copper to nitrate solution because like Milo, add water become Milo solution. Then after that, for the sodium hydroxide and ammonia, these two chemical, right? They actually are alkaline. So alkaline means you will have OH inside. Both are alkaline. Show you the sample. NaOH, when dissolved in water, it will produce Na plus and OH minus. Then ammonia, when you dissolve in water, you write water to produce NH4 plus OH minus. Okay, so you don't know about this thing. Then it will form the insoluble salt. So Cu with OH will become the CuOH. I told you before, the OH is insoluble. So CuOH is the blue precipitate form. So the black solid, rather for me, copper to oxide, brown gas, nitrogen dioxide gas, color gas is oxygen gas. Chemical equation represent the heating of the salt. So we write out the chemical equation. So Cu nitrate, you heat already, you become CuO plus NO2 plus O2. Balance equation. Okay, balance equation, when you balance, right? Let's say you see here, I got 2 nitrogen, you put 2 here, right? You start at the oxygen because here got 6 oxygen, here got 1 oxygen, here got 4 oxygen, here got 2 oxygen. So total here 7. 6 and 7 is not balanced, but so in this case, you have to find the biggest one times 2. Who the biggest one is this one? So everything we'll rewrite again. The biggest one times 2. Then n times 2 become 4n. After that, n times 3 times 2, 6. 6 times 3 is 12 oxygen. Here got 2 Cu, so put a 2 Cu here. So 2O, 8, and then 2 total up is 12. So briefly, okay, they'll ask for cation test and anion test, so you have to memorize. For cation, you must remember this. Cation is positive ion. Okay, positive ion. So the positive ion in solution Y, solution Y is here. The positive ion is Cu2 plus. How do you confirm Cu2 plus? You need to write this answer. You pour 2 cm cube, like do blood test. You put the blood first. So you put 2 cm cube of the blue solution inside the test tube. Then add ammonia. You do remember this answer to test Cu2 plus. Add ammonia solution drop by drop until assess. You need to memorize this. This one coming on the exam. Please memorize the answer. After that, you'll get blue precipitate form. So at the beginning, add few drop, you'll get you blue precipitate. Means let's say this is a test tube. Inside got Cu2 plus. Let's say this is a test tube. Inside got Cu2 plus. So when add a few drop, you'll get blue precipitate. Then when a few drop until assess me add a lot of ammonia, you realize that the blue precipitate it will dissolve. and then form dark blue solution. Means the blue precipitate dissolve, you form a dark blue solution. Dark blue solution. This. Okay, so this is the idea. You have to remember. But this one coming up, please memorize it. How to test CO2 plus. Right, ionic equation when you add ammonia is the Cu plus the OH, as I told you, OH inside got ammonia. Alkaline means got OH, so the OH meet with the CO2 plus will become the insoluble copper hydroxide. Okay, how do you identify the gas? To test the NO2 is a brown color gas that is acidic, so you turn moist blue means paper red. To test oxygen, you rekindle glowing when spin out. Okay, so this is the first question you need to know. Okay, second one is this. Now this is green and then black, CO. And then when got one gas means it's CO2. If got two gas is NO2 and O2. If got one gas is CO2, as I told you before. If you hit the carbonate, if you hit the nitrate, it'll come out two gases. If you hit carbonate, it'll come out one gases. Okay, so one gases coming out is CO. So this is CuCO3. Okay, this is the typical question from state people that we know this is CO, but we don't know what is this acid. Okay, it have many possible answers. Can be HCl lah, can be HNO3 lah, can be H2SO4 acid. We won't know. How do you know? It depends on this. You can see here, the 8 barium suddenly become white precipitate. It's insoluble. So remember the persatuan bahasa China, which is insoluble. That part is soap. So means this white precipitate is barium sulfate. So how do we know? Barium come from this side, so sulfate come from here. Means the barium chloride here got barium, meet with sulfate, become barium sulfate. No? So if this is sulfate, CuCO3 added one acid becomes CuSO4. So which is the acid? Sulfuric acid. Then you can see that CuSO4 coming out, H and O come out water, C and O come out CO2. Then they ask you, if inside got copper, you add a reagent, you get blue precipitate, and the blue precipitate dissolve in excess. Reagent J will form a dark blue solution. So remember just now the one, you need to add ammonia until excess. Then here, um, uh, uh, add ammonia drop by drop until excess, you get blue precipitate form, and the precipitate dissolve in excess ammonia to form dark blue solution. Okay, coming out copper, you don't know all these things. So write down all the chemical involved here. So the P will be the copper 2 carbonate. Then for the Y will be the copper 2 sulfate. Then reagent J is the ammonia. Acid is sulfuric acid. Gas is carbon dioxide gas. Then black solid is copper 2 oxide. Yeah, so this question, the balance equation, you can try to write out the answer. The test, how to test the carbon dioxide gas, you write bubble the gas or channel the gas through lime water will turn cloudy, choky, milky. Okay, because it got mentioned coming out anion test. So you need to know how to test the anion means need to test negative ion. Okay, for the syllabus, right, we have 3 negative ion you need to know. First is how do you test the chloride and sulfate. So the concept is like this. Okay, first, so remember the chloride is curry soup. So Persatuan Agama Hindu, not soluble. Persatuan Bahasa China, not suitable. So what we do is, let's say we have this test tube. I suspect inside we have chloride. So what should I do? I'll add silver nitrate inside. Because we know that the silver mixed with the chloride will become silver chloride, which is the white precipitate. So you add the silver nitrate when got white precipitate coming out means confirm inside got chloride. But before you add this thing, you have to add the nitric acid. Why need to add the nitric acid? Because silver carbonate also will become white precipitate. So you have to put the nitric acid to destroy any possible carbonate. So the nitric acid is added first to make sure there's no carbonate. Only you put in your silver nitrate. Once no more carbonate and silver is added in. Then after that, the precipitate come out will be the what we call the proven that inside got correct. Then for sulfate is using the same concept. So for sulfate, to prove inside got sulfate, right? We use the same concept. First, you must know that barium, they meet with sulfate and carbonate also will come out white precipitate. So what we do is we will put nitric acid because acid will corrode the carbonate to make sure it's not carbonate. Then when the barium meet with the sulfate inside, it will become your white precipitate. So this is how you write the step. Add two solution inside. Put nitric acid first to destroy the carbonate. Then add barium. If it meet with SO4, it will come out white precipitate. So the Ba will meet SO4 become the white precipitate. Then for the cation test, as I told you just now, you need to remember, you need to add the ammonia until excess, blue precipitate form, the precipitate soluble excess ammonia to form the blue solution. Please remember, one cation test which is CO2 plus coming out. Anion test, not sure which one can be chloride, can be sulfate, but most probably will be Browning test that we're doing now. Okay, so you see again, heat come out one gas, so will be CuO plus CO2, and this is Cu CO3 plus nitric acid, it will come out CuNO3. Then H and O become H2O, C and O becomes CO2. So the substance now we know that all the substance contain P will be copper to carbonate, Q will be copper to nitrate, R will be carbon dioxide gas, and then T will be copper dioxide. So how to test the copper? You can write down add ammonia and excess, blue precipitate form, the precipitate soluble in excess ammonia to form that blue solution. Please memorize this, it's not worth about 3 marks like this. Okay, for the Browning test, because inside got nitrogen, to confirm in a test tube, we have a brown nitrate inside. You have to use the Browning test. So how to conduct the Browning test? First, you must memorize the chemical, all end with SO4. First one is H2, next one is H2, middle is Fe. Then this is dilute, this is concentrated. Then put in 2 cm cube, 2 cm cube, and a few drops. Okay, so this is the question. Okay, so what you do first, you add in 2 cm cube solution. Then after that, you add in 2 cm cube of dilute sulfuric acid, 2 cm cube of iron 2 sulfate solution. Then shake. This I draw a line there, shake. Then slanted the test tube. Use dropper. Add a few drops of the concentrated sulfuric acid to the slanted test tube. Turn it upright, do not shake. When you get a brown ring, so when you upright the test tube with you get a beautiful brown ring, indicate the presence of the nitrate ion. Okay, please memorize this. Very high chance coming out nitrate. Standardized questions will be this. Then this is another question for you to demo. You can see here again, green solid, so should be CO3. Here it becomes CO and CO2. I've done all the possible questions here to make sure no surprise. Same with this, you have different acid, possible acid. Who will be the acid will depends on here. Put Ag, come out white precipitate, should be AgCl. So remember, chloride is persatuan agama Hindu. If this is Cl, means this is Cl. If this is Cl, means the acid here is HCl. So this is the idea. Put reagent J, same question. Blue precipitate dissolve in excess, reagent J to form dark blue solution. This reagent J is ammonium. Yeah, so this is the questions, very similar questions. Okay, so after that, we will go for the, okay, this one I cancel off because confirm not coming up PB. The PB question is this. This is the additional chemical. All this you can ignore it because we confirm what is coming out of it. Okay, for the question, very high chance it will look something like that. Eh, oh, typo here. Just ignore this. Okay. The question is that this: you are given these three chemical. Yeah, you're given these three chemical: lead two oxide, nitric acid, and potassium iodide. They'll ask you to design activity to prepare a yellow insoluble salt. Okay, here you must know the yellow insoluble salt is PbI2. So how to get this PbI2? You're not allowed to use PbO straight away plus Ki. You won't get result because PbO is something insoluble. You drop into this solution, there's nothing happen. So in order to let the PbO to become, you must dissolve the PbO. In order to dissolve the PbO, you must put in the nitric acid because we know that acid, okay, you know the chemical equation for the acid. Acid can write four different things. Metal carbonate, metal oxide, and metal hydroxide. So acid can write metal oxide. Okay, so this is the one. Acid can write metal oxide. Then it will become your Pb nitrate first plus H2O coming out. So this is the idea. So first you mentioned put 25 cm³ of the nitric acid, heat the nitric acid a bit because the powder, you see the question give you powder or solid. In order for the powder to dissolve like you're doing milk, if you pour the milk powder into cold water, very hard to dissolve now. So you have to heat the acid to be slightly hot. So heat gently. After that, add the copper 2 oxide powder, bit by bit to the heated acid while stir with glass straw until the powder cannot dissolve anymore. Then you will get the lead to nitric solution. Okay, so now you filter out first. Filter out this thing because when you put excess this thing, the acid finish in demand. Then you get this. But you still got your lead 2 oxide powder inside. So you have to filter out. So after filter out, right, the PbO will be on top. Then this is called residue. This is called filtrate. I want filtrate. So once you have the filtrate, the PbNO3, now you pour the potassium iodide. Because potassium iodide also soluble salt. So now you will get PbI2, which is the yellow precipitate, plus the potassium nitrate. So pour 25 cm³ of the potassium iodide into the filtrate. Filtrate means this is the filtrate. Yellow precipitate form is filtered out. So this one you filter out. Rinse your related distilled water. Dry them to get the dry crystal. So this is the question that coming up in your exam for the salt, the last essay. Okay, the last essay. Then for safety purpose, question 9. I still teach you this one just in case Thursday you have to answer this question. Okay, so look at the question. Based on the question 9, one of them is ionic bond. So if ionic bond or covalent bond, right? This question not recommended to do unless you know choice. So you look at this one, 2.4, but we still learn it just in case you have no choice. So for this, right, you have to choose ionic. So for ionic, you must choose a metal react with a non-metal. So for metal, the valence electron is 1, 2, 3. The non-metal, the valence electron is 5, 6, 7. Why choose them? Because metal, right, 1 valence electron will donate 1 become 1 plus, 2 valence electron will donate 2 become 2 plus, 3 valence electron will donate 3 become 3 plus. Example, give some example. Example, let's say we talk about Na. Na is 2.1, so he had to donate 1 electron, become Na plus. Magnesium is 2.2. He had to donate 2 valence electron to become 2.8 plus 2 electron. Then aluminum is 2.3. He'll donate 3 electron to become 2.3. 2 point, also stable. So for non-metal, they have to receive electron. So how to receive electron? Example, let's say Cl. Cl is 2.8.7. So to receive 1 electron becomes Cl minus. 2.8 is stable. Oxygen is 2.6. You to receive 2 electron. Become 2.8 also, but become O2 minus. Then nitrogen is 2.5. Had to receive 3 electron to become 2.8 also, but become N3 minus. So this is the idea lah. So now to choose who to become ionic, very obvious is this and this. Because the R is 2.8.2, he donated 2 electron, become 2 plus. Then Q is 2.6, receive 2 electron, become Q2 minus, also 2.8. So to mention the explanation here. So how to write the essay? I'll show you the question here. The essay looks like this. So for R, he had to donate 2. For Q, had to receive 2. So make sure you memorize the answer in detail. He had to donate 2 valence electrons, the outside one, to form R2 plus ion to achieve stable electron arrangement. 8 is stable electron arrangement. Then for Q, when you accept the right valence electron, accept 2 electron into the last shell we call valence shell to form Q2 plus 2 minus ion. Then the positive and negative charge, they have a strong electrostatic force between the ions. So the draw this study is 2.8, 2.8. Then here you draw 2, which come from the other side. Means these 2 come from here. You donated 2 to this side. Yeah. Okay, another question, possible question looks at this, that they draw the diagram for you. Then after that, you need to find out what is the original. So based on look at this diagram, you can see R original is 2.6. It received 2. Then here is 1 plus means original is 2.8.1. Means Q original 2.8.1. He donated 1, become 1 plus. Then for R is original 2.6, it received 2, it become R2 minus. Then you have to arrange the detail up. So same as just now, for Q will donate 1 valence electron, R will receive 2 electron into the valence shell. Then after that, it form the ionic bond. Then you do one more question. Okay, this is another K-pop question that you need to know that Ionic, they're able to conduct electrics, okay, because they got free moving ion. It got a positive ion, got a negative ion can move. So you see, this terminal is positive terminal, negative terminal. So the negative terminal go to the positive go to the negative. So when it's ionic, it's able to conduct electric. When it's covalent, it's neutral molecule. Neutral molecule, you hear it put a positive and negative, they have no reaction. They are neutral. They won't move to the left or move to the right. Based on this, we'll know this is covalent bond. This is ionic bond. Okay, so you can write here that one is covalent, one is ionic. So for ionic will be ions, then if covalent will be molecules. Then they ask you from here, you choose. So from this table, right, we know this is group 1. Then this is group 2, group 13, group 14, group 15, group 16, group 17, group 18. Then period 1, period 2, period 3. Based on this, we will know this is period 3, group 1, so it's 2.8.1. Then Q is period 2, group 16, so this is 2.6. Then after that, R is period 3, group 17, so it's 2.8.7. So this is a hidden information that you need to know. P is 2.8.1, then Q is 2.6, R is 2.8.7. We need a metal with non-metal. So this is the metal, this is a non-metal. So technically, the ionic you can use P with Q or P with R, both possible. So now they ask you to write the equation. So this is the answer. We choose P and Q, P and R as an ionic, then Q and R is a covalent because non-metal is covalent. So now you can start to explain that P is 2.8.1, donate one valence electron from P plus. Then for the R is 2.8.7, receive one electron, it become R minus. This explanation. Okay, then the second part of the, okay, this one is a similar one. You have to choose the ionic. So for the ionic here, group 14 period 2 means 2.4. Then S is 2.8.6 period 3 matrix shell, then 2.8.1. So technically you choose these two. 4 they don't form ionic one. So for R is 2.8.1, we'll donate one valence electron. Then for S is 2.8.6, S2 minus, oh, you'll receive 2 electrons. So this will receive 2 electrons from 2.8. So to mention here, the detail of how to write the essay. So first, you dimension 1 is 2.8.6, 1 is 2.8.1. So 281, 1 valence electron, 286, 6 valence electron. After that, atom R will donate 1 valence electron. S will receive 2 electrons in the valence shell, receive 2 electrons here, 2 opposite charge ion S. So all these 4 different questions to practice to make sure you know how to write the essay. Okay, the second part of the essay, this essay is not recommended because the period tree is a very unknown. So for period tree, you need to know that I think you did this in uh the the paper tree, that the inventory basic one. I think you should be very pro in this today. So this is the basic, this is the inventory, this will be the acidic. So period is the horizontal row, the elements in the period table of the elements. This is all period 3 because all belong to 3 shell. Who is semi-metal? You know is silicon. Then compare the electronegativity of magnesium and chromium. So you look at magnesium. So for magnesium, it got 12 proton at the middle. It got 3 shell. Then for chlorine, it got 17 proton in the middle. It got smaller size because when going across the period, when you get more proton, right, the attraction force is stronger, so all the electron will be pulled closer to the size smaller. So now they compare the reactivity, electronegativity, ability to attract electron. Who easier to attract electron? Of course, will be the chlorine. Why? First, it has more proton than positive charge. Electron is negative, here got 17 proton, here got 12 proton. Of course, 17 is stronger force to attract electron. Then second reason is also smaller size. The size is smaller, easier to attract, like taking a bottle of water, nearer, easier to take the bottle of water. Then this is the one in your period, in your paper 3 lah. If you can dissolve in both, then it's N43. If you can dissolve in acid, it's basic. Dissolve in alkaline, so then the side is alkaline, then is acidic. Okay, then you know that from left hand side, BAA bar, basic is on the left hand side. Left hand side is with the basic is Y, and photo is X, then Z is here. So you know when going across the period, the size getting smaller because more and more proton. They want increasing size. So started with Z, then X, then Y. Then this one same, but this one they put inside the periodic table for you. So basic principle arranging is increasing proton number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We arrange that according to proton number. Then able to dissolve in both acid and alkaline, so it must be aluminium. Empirical oxide, which is aluminium. Compare the size of aluminium and chlorine. So aluminium and chlorine, right? Chlorine is smaller size. The reason is because it's more proton. You see, for proton, it got 13 proton. Aluminum got 13 proton in the middle. But my chlorine, it has 17 proton in the middle. So because more proton, the electron will be attract closer to the nucleus. So the size is smaller. Proton number and positive charge of chlorine higher. So the strength to attract electrons stronger. So all the electron pull closer to the nucleus will be smaller size. So we can write down the size of this is smaller, 2 shell is smaller. Because 1 shell, 2 shell, 3 shell. Then we go across the period getting smaller. So F will be the smaller size. Yeah, until here, go this way. Okay, compare the electronegativity is the same concept. Same concept. Argon, they don't form oxide because they really stable order electron arrangement. They don't accept electron, donate electron, or share electron among each other. Okay, so good luck for your exam. So this video able to, if you listen to it, you can answer once, then you take out the empty one and you rememorize the answer. But highly recommended Thursday, please do the chapter 3 one and the chapter 6, because this ionic bond and period 3, the question not so clear. Maybe the question is a bit tough, so a lot of students will try to avoid this question too. Okay, so good luck. I will coming up the video tomorrow for the structure for the another 60 marks. Huh?